So,
You okay there? It took a second
yeah.
to load in your brain, didn't you?
Well, I was like, I'm not sure if Tash is gonna say, okay, so we're back and let's
Welcome
carry on
back.
talking.
Let's carry on talking about the Emperor. How was that?
So, Horus.
Horace. Oh, Horace.
No, we're talking about the Emperor.
Oh, but
We,
I mean,
we're kind of talking. We're gonna keep going on his credos, like the Imperial Truth and all that type of thing.
yes.
Because essentially, like the I wanted to say the crusade against religion. That doesn't really sound right, does it?
Vendetta. His. Well, no, I mean, it kind of is.
His vendetta against religion.
Okay, I mean, crusade fits better, I think.
It does. It does.
Just say it.
That was one of the aspects of it. It's kind of like things he came to realize or to, I don't want to say believe, but through his time, guiding and observing
Conquering
humanity. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things he held, and one of the parts of the Imperial Truth, was that humanity couldn't take its place as the most important and what they should be species in the galaxy until they'd got rid of all the churches, all the priests, like everything, like gone.
Okay.
He got rid of all of the religions and beliefs. I kind of get the feeling, obviously it doesn't go into this type of detail. I kind of get the feeling like even, a horseshoe over, or like if you spill some salt, you throw some over your shoulder. I feel like he tried to get rid of those as well,
Yeah. I wonder.
And I'm as I remember, I think there's like a thing where there was one kind of final church bastion warlord dude, and he was like, he personally went there with his space marines, his legions, and watched it burn or like get destroyed.
He's so extra.
Yeah.
God, I need to stop saying that, but he is. He's so melodramatic.
Yeah. So, additionally to that, it's worth mentioning that at this point, the Emperor has seen, other Xenos, especially of obviously the Eldar, like making a civilization, an empire, and then it just basically collapsing.
Mm-hmm.
And the Imperial Truth is like, humanity is the rightful ruler of the galaxy, essentially. The other problem, of course, is essentially their experience with Xenos is very much either they are trying to kill us or in the future will try to kill us.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if the humans are so arrogant, where did he get this truth from? Did he just decide it one day? Woke up and he was like, "What up?"
It's just kind of like a structure of tenets of how to live your life. So not like religion at all.
I mean, with his oh yeah, humanity is the bestest and greatest song in the world.
Yeah.
What did he just think it?
Yeah, pretty much. I
wasn't sure if it was anything from the collective knowledge of the shaman.
No, it was more like just the Emperor's experience and knowledge and all that type of thing. Mm-hmm. It's why it's kind of suffer the Xenos not to live type thing, where it's you don't let you don't, if you find Xenos on a planet, you kill them.
Yeah,
it's not like live and let live kind of shit even. he also, much like when he unified Terra, was like his mandate to his Primarchs, to his Space Marines, was essentially take my truth, take the Imperial truth, and take them to our lost worlds. You bring them in, you make them accept the Imperial truth. If they don't accept, if they don't come back to us peacefully, you fucking conquer that place.
Yeah, we will have it, whether they agree or not.
Because the Emperor believed that the only way forward for humanity was to be united, regardless of how they were united.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, yes, I may kill half the population of this planet, but the other half will be united with us, and together we're stronger, kind of thing. And, you know, he's not entirely wrong.
I mean, it's kind of not great.
No, it's not great, but the Imperium still exists.
Yeah.
It's still going. It's still, you know, it's able to weather a lot of shit. So, you know, just you be careful if you're not accepting the Imperial truth. That's all I'm saying.
What's he gonna do? Murder me?
Probably.
Yeah. That's why I said it.
I mean, like, let's face it. Even the Eldar, like, you're not really gonna trust the Eldar, right?
No, God no.
And so you have this at the time it was like 30k galaxy going on. It kind of makes sense to, you know, like, there's really no Xenos who don't try and kill you or trick you or conquer you or enslave you. So it's like,
Are all those things in different orders?
yeah, or turn you into couch, whatever.
Just one type.
Slippers. So that was it was on a very large galactic scale. His desire to, you know, to have the Imperium, like, kill Xenos on sight, you know, don't really deal with them. It was essentially a reaction to looking around and going to be like, wow, this shit's kind of fucked, huh? So.
Yeah. But I just, yeah.
Yeah.
It is extreme.
It is
sure.
extreme.
They all have their hang-ups, don't they? Each sort of grouping.
Yeah.
Oh, my eyes are getting unfocused in these. Okay.
Is that I thought that was just the camera.
Look, I'm trying my best. I'm getting closer and closer to the model with these glasses on.
Essentially it meant that the same thing he did during the Unification Wars. He wasn't bloodthirsty. He didn't want to kill people. I hear that. I was waiting for that doubt in your voice.
Well, I mean, he says a lot of shit, but it's his actions, you know?
He talks a lot of crap,
everyone.
but he ate my character's eyes.
But I'm just really disappointed in you, so I'm just gonna kill you, actually. I'm not angry. I'm just gonna purge your planet.
Yeah. There were, like, you know, a lot of instances of kind of restricting freedom and loss of innocent life, and the Great Crusade fleets of the Space Marines would crunch a planet, you know. And when we go into the individual Space Marine legions, you'll find out that, well, we found out already with Angron, they went a bit buck wild at times.
Yeah.
A decent example actually would be the Night Lords.
Okay, we haven't spoken about the Night Lords yet, so.
So the Night Lords, they had a very terror approach.
Like scary terror or
Yeah, scary terror tactics,
okay.
terrorism. They like to use fear, and like there were times where an imperial governor would be like, I refuse to give you the tithe that you demand, and so the emperor or whoever, Horus or whoever, would be like, hey, Night Lords, just go pay them a visit, make sure that they,
do what they're supposed to do.
And the Night Lords would turn up and be like, you failed to, you failed to give your tithe, you failed to comply with the imperial truth, and the governor would be like, ha, what are you gonna do? Kill us all? You need us. And the Night Lords are like, oh, buddy, that's just not true. And then proceed to like attack them and fuck them up, and like traps and bombardments and terror raids and all these type of things. And then they're like, okay, we're sorry, we won't do it again. And they're like, yeah, still.
Too bad. You've started this now.
Yeah. There are other times where, like, similar thing, like a governor of a world is like, I'm not complying. And so they send officials and they're like, no, still not complying. And then they kind of threaten them with the Imperial Guard or something, and they're like, no, still not complying. And then they're like, okay, we're going to send the Night Lords. And they're like, wait,
real quick. I found some money in my pocket. Do you want it?
Yeah, maybe we can comply. Maybe we can. And by then, like, the Night Lords have turned up, and they're like, sometimes they, get the offer from the planetary governor, basically being like, we're very, very sorry. We promise not to do it again. Please forgive us. And the Night Lords will be like, okay, bet, bye. And then other times the Night Lords will be like, no.
We just got here. We want to have some fun. Traveled all this way.
Yeah. Ugh. And the funny thing is that was what the Emperor used them for.
Yeah.
He used them as a threat. He had them make examples. And then when they did it, he bitched at them for doing it.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can rant about his skills as a parent.
Yeah. Like, they got in trouble for doing the thing that he told them to do.
Yeah.
It's like, what? So, anyway.
That's literally my one job, Dad.
To be fair, they were fucking sadistic. And it only got worse.
Yeah, you'd think, like, I mean, he probably bitched at them more so because it was excessive.
Yeah.
Than that he actually cared. He doesn't want them accidentally going to chaos. Had he already lost a few groups by that point?
Or
was he it was trying to keep hold of as many as he could, or
the Space
Horus
Marines
and stuff? Yeah, and the Traitor Legions.
Yeah, no, this was all while they were still loyal.
Right.
Yeah. Just is how it is. And like the Space Wolves, they like their fighting, and Magnus likes his books, and we'll probably talk about Lorgar a little bit in this Emperor episode. Lorgar was the head of the Primarch for the Word Bearers. He was an interesting dude.
Like, I'm assuming the word of the Emperor or the Imperium. That was loud, like that noise you just made. That
Sorry.
was so loud.
Um. So yes, but no.
Okay.
Lorgar was like, okay, Imperial Truth, maybe, but also you're a god, so I should really spread that a bit more.
Oh, Lorgar's doing crimes.
Lorgar was a lot slower than a lot of the other Primarchs and their legions,
Mhm.
because when he took over a planet, he was converting them to worship the Emperor.
Great. I'm sure he was so happy about that. He's not. I know.
It it didn't go amazingly for Lorgar.
Tell me about that. Or maybe should I wait? Should I not ask about that?
I feel like we should leave it for it is kind of the Emperor's an asshole type thing.
Okay.
Let's see how we go.
Okay.
We won't go into detail on it yet. We may save it for the Lorgar and Word Bearers
Yeah, maybe I'll ask for that episode next.
episode. Well, we've already decided what we have next.
Well,
I
I know,
think.
but I mean like after the next.
Oh, after the next, of course.
Next, you know,
Yeah.
the goals that we're definitely close to.
There's only one tenet of the Imperial Truth that was like absolute,
Yeah.
which was that you can never make machines that can think.
Oh.
True thinking.
Yeah, we don't like AI in this house.
No AI.
Uh-huh. Who done fucked up?
Well, he basically he I mean there we talked about the the little encounter that Angron had, you know?
Mm-hmm.
That's why Angron kind of, you know, when he found out that they were all weird robos, he was just like, rah, 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 and yeah. So it is what it is. No AI of any kind. No bad. There's actually I can't remember what the story is. There's a novel where a ship turns up that has an AI in it,
Oh
and
no.
everyone loses their shit because it's like a really old. I think it's a Mechanicus, like it's Mechanicus and one of the Space Marine chapters, and the Mechanicus are losing their fucking minds
They're like, this is the best
because
day ever.
because I think it's offering like a really important STC which has some great like technology details, blueprint stuff in it.
Okay.
But it wants to like not die or something, or it wants help getting somewhere or doing something. And because it's an AI, they're just like want technology, but also must, you know, abide by rules, kind of thing. So
How I know we're not talking about the Mechanicus, but like how really loyal are they? Because I feel like I would be more tempted with the, you know,
yeah, they're not super loyal.
they're just like not wanting to die.
It depends. You know, like they have a lot of leeway because they essentially keep all technology. They keep the guns working. They keep the lights on, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they're like, yeah, you know, the Emperor's cool. He's probably like the Messiah of the Omnissiah, but
I mean that's a whole little rabbit hole that I want to get into, but if I ask about it, you're gonna say you should wait for the Mechanicus episode.
you should wait for the Mechanicus episode. To be fair,
But what about if I want to know now? Kidding, sort of. Not kidding, but you know,
yeah.
I will wait.
Well, once we've done the Tyranids, we can open up the Imperium options. people can vote for for the Mechanicus. You can actually get invested and shout at them if they try and draw it or don't pick the one you want.
I want to know about the Mechanicus.
See, guys, you're gonna have to vote for the Mechanicus when it becomes an option. Otherwise, you're gonna make Tash sad.
Angie. No, say it. Angie.
So there are instances during the Great Crusade where they turn up to places in the galaxy
Yeah.
that have AI.
Right, good. That's super duper.
Those worlds and populations were fucking massacred every time, without exception.
Of course they were.
Like, not only like that's the level with which the paranoia with the AI exists on. Like, to give you an example, you know how I'm fairly fast and loose with the law?
Not crime, but like the
TTRPGs.
history.
Yeah, like in the TTRPG 40k stuff I run.
I thought you were just talking about the police for a second. I'm like, you can't
Yeah, I'm like,
say
fuck
that
the police.
online. Like,
They blaze past my window with the sirens blazing when I'm trying to record stuff.
they do. They are quite loud. But that was just I was like, well, I mean, this is a really weird moment to announce that, but
Yeah.
Anyway, yes.
So I had a player in one of my 40k shows who was like, "Hey Sheepy, I want to be a man of iron." That the men of iron were the AIs who destroyed destroyed humanity, civilization before the Age of Strife.
Yeah, and there might be some back. Oh, alive.
There might be some that's still around, and there's a possibility. But he was like, I want to play a man of iron who's like, he's a robot. And I was like, dude, I know you want to do this like secretly, so it's gonna be, but I can't. Like, there's no way for me to make it work, because the second it's revealed, all of the other characters will want to kill you, because that's what their characters will want to do.
Yeah.
There's no getting around this one. This is there's essentially like allowances. Maybe they won't kill you. Maybe they'll just like throw you out into space or something.
But you can't hang out with them anymore.
Yeah, but you're like, the second that reveal is revealed, you're done.
Yeah. What did they do though?
They went with a different character because they also wanted to be a Thunder Warrior.
Oh, well, that could be fun too.
I was like, maybe someone else, just
Maybe. Okay. Next color is ooh,
So-
that's a shading color. Sorry, but I have to skip that.
No problem.
I'm like, what am I doing? I'm doing this.
Ooh,
that.
I'm doing things too. So now we get to a blip in the Great Crusade.
A blip
The Council of Nicaea.
of IKEA.
Nicaea. Which we have talked about a little bit.
I don't think I remember, if I'm honest.
In the Thousand Suns episode. Council.
Sorry, I thought someone was talking to me.
Okay. I mean, for like the last couple of hours, actually.
I know, I've just been blurring it out. Just won't shut up.
Yeah.
Nicaea. Is that where
Thousand Suns episode.
he was having a chat at home? And Magnus, is that when Magnus did a boo boo?
No.
No, they weren't having a council then. Okay, I thought they were.
So that's a little bit later. So
Tell me about it again. And
there
as soon as you start
was,
to tell me, I'll be like, yes, I do remember
yeah,
this.
there were multiple people, Primarchs and others, who had a problem with some of the warriors, some of the Primarchs, some of the, operatives of the Imperium, using a certain thing.
Brain power. Why did I just say it like that?
Yes, technically,
Psycho powers.
yes. They were concerned
Brain
about
power.
psyker. They were concerned about psykers and the psyker abilities and all this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Weirdly, the Emperor, who is like powerful psyker man,
Mm-hmm.
most powerful psyker man, wasn't super pro psyker.
Well, I mean, he's main character, so he can be the only one.
I mean, he more thought that, like, because it's a mutation and it's something that's slowly becoming a thing, he's like, honestly, humanity isn't really at the point where we can utilize this and avoid corrupting and temptation.
Mm,
So the more
that would
that
be
they
mutating, yeah.
the more that they saw um you know planets with sorcerers and witches and psychers on it who were like dominating the population and doing horrific things, and considering the fact that a lot of them were like chaos cultists. um yeah, the Emperor was like, yeah, I kind of see that. Also, is very similar to the Thousand Sons and Primarch, the stuff they were doing.
Yeah.
So there were a couple of people who really, really didn't like psychers.
A Space Wolf.
Lehman Russ.
Lemon Ross. Yeah.
Do you remember the other one?
I think there
He's
was a
he's,
meme about it in Discord.
he's a Nurgle boy.
Nurgle boy.
Yeah.
You throw me off with that.
Mortarion and the Death God. Yeah. Mortarion. We'll talk about him obviously, but he grew up on a world which was like just lousy with sorcerers and psychers, and they were horrific buttholes.
Mm-hmm.
Lehman Ross just thought it was kind of tricky. You can deceive people, you can glamour people, you can do all these things with psycho powers. He's like, that's not fighting. You're a nerd. And
I
so he didn't.
I can't beat this because I have no constitution.
Yeah.
Probably.
And so Lehman Russ kind of led the charge. Mortarion backed him up, and some others were in agreement, where they just wanted to ban psychic.
It's just not good, is it?
Yeah.
I think that's all it does. That's just silly.
What's silly?
Like, ban all psychers. I mean...
Oh, yeah. I mean, and this is the thing about the Emperor as well, is you realize that means that none of them knew that he was a psycho.
Oh, he just not tell them?
Well, I mean,
Oh, God, he's such a dick. Is that red? Yeah, red.
But it threatened to be a serious, a serious grudge, and could even turn into like war or fighting between the Space Wolves and the Thousand Sons. So the Emperor was like, "Aight, I'm going to call a meeting of important Imperial officials and Primarchs and everything. We're going to talk this out and we're going to decide."
Mm-hmm.
So everyone turned up at the world of Nicaea.
Nicaea, yeah.
With the Emperor basically acting as like the arbiter
Mm-hmm.
and just kind of listening to the sides, you know, kind of like a trial almost, but no one was on trial. It was two sides like arguing their points and bringing up things and insulting each other's mothers and, you know, standard stuff that happens in law court.
They don't have the same mothers.
So you had the anti-psyker groups, like the Sisters of Silence. Pause for meme. Are you not going to do it?
Meme? Oh, I thought the meme was the silence.
No.
Sorry, I'm trying to. Yeah, dude.
I mentioned the Sisters of Silence, who I don't think I've mentioned before.
Oh, no, I thought you were then talking about like a random meme. No, I mean
Oh,
I know
no.
we'll get to it. So, and
Yeah,
also
we
I
will.
assume that they have like some sort of vow of silence situation.
They're also blanks.
Oh, I know what blanks are.
There you go.
So,
So yeah, they essentially went over, you know, the enslaved worlds, the mutants, the weird monsters and cults and the people who like tried to take over the world because they had more power than anyone else because they were psychers. Um, a lot of the stuff mentioned was like chaos brand heresy, except for heresy didn't exist at this point, and no one knew about chaos and stuff except for the emperor and maybe a few
oh,
other people.
well they were saying heresy can happen because of Psycho. Or
Um, no, so they're essentially like, here's all these weird things, you know, these power hungry people, and they were basically saying that psychers are was it it's not abuse. They
it's not heresy yet, but because they don't know what heresy is, but
yes.
it would
Yes.
be what is now heresy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also like they were just talking about how corruptible psychic abilities are. You know, so someone who's a psyker with loads of power, the ability to like influence people's minds and, you know, move things with their mind and etc. All of
Just
those.
like you, Dad.
Yeah, but they don't know that. And a lot of the cults, a lot of the like weird monsters and things, they're all a lot of them were chaos influenced,
Right.
but they just didn't know that.
Okay. Because they don't know what chaos is.
Yeah.
That was at the Emperor, by the way, not myself.
Yeah, no, that's the other side, mostly, you know, kind of like championed by Magnus, wanted to continue using psycho abilities. He thought they were useful. He thought they were really cool.
Super duper. Yeah.
He basically said that no knowledge, no ability is tainted in and of itself, and pursuit of knowledge isn't wrong as long as the person seeking it is the master and not the servant
Yeah.
of the knowledge.
Which is fair.
He basically said, like, him and the Thousand Sons had mastered it. They were good at it. And it allowed them to delve more into knowledge and find out more and essentially the knowledge, the power would become their servants, their slaves, as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, which quite arrogant there, Magnus.
And so not only okay, you calm down. I was in full law mode, and then you insulted my boy, and I'm like, oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
Look, Magnus needed to take a pause and think about what he's doing sometimes. I said it. I'll say it.
Mm, mm.
I'll say it.
I'm going to move on.
You should move
but
on.
I have lodged a complaint. He not only did he say to the emperor and everyone there, he was like, look, not only should we not ban it, we should look into it more. We should encourage it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I think I just got paint on my face.
The problem is Magnus was very charismatic.
Yeah. Because of his psychers.
I mean, maybe.
Maybe, yes.
Unconfirmed.
Apothecary White.
And then, obviously you've got Lehman Russ and you've got Mortarion, neither of who are particularly, comparatively that charismatic.
No.
Their legions like them, everyone else thinks they're kind of dicks. And then, so we haven't really talked about Space Marine librarians. I don't really want to go deep into it because it would go on for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
And this is kind of like, this is an Emperor bit, but it's also just a general lore bit as opposed, general Imperium bit and history.
Yeah.
Librarians are essentially Space Marine psykers.
We're going to have to talk about the librarian at some point because
librarians are really cool. But they're essentially like an organized group within the chapters and legions, etc., who are psykers with psyker abilities.
Okay.
So you get like an ultramarine librarian is a psyker.
A psyker ultramarine. Do they have wolves? Space wolves? Librarians?
I don't think so, actually.
Oh. Because it would be very hypocritical if so.
Like for example, the Death Guard don't have any because they killed them all.
Nice.
I think it's
Dad
possible.
Was happy about
that. I want to say do the Space Wolves have like rune somethings or to go along with the Norse? I'm actually going to look this up because I'm interested too.
Yeah,
a rune priest.
Rune priest. Okay.
It's more ritual and shamanistic.
Right.
They are psykers. I think the way they got around it is that the Space Wolves don't think they're psykers.
They're not smart, are they?
I mean, do you need to be smart to hit something with a stick?
I mean, I doubt they could even hold the right side of a sword sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, you could, even if you're holding the wrong side of a sword, you can still hit them with the other side.
Well, yeah, but you'll stab yourself.
Yeah, but Space Wolves.
Anyway, maybe I should not just insult the Space Wolves. They'll come and eat me. Plus, I have some of their puppies to paint.
I feel like you'll like the Space Wolves.
Oh, I think I will. I'm just being mean to them.
Yeah.
Hypocrisy.
Feel free to be mean to them for now until we talk about them and you fall in love and you're like, Magnus did everything wrong.
Well, I've already said he did
Russ.
He already did things wrong, so.
No, but you're gonna switch to everything. You're gonna hate the Thousand Sons and Magnus.
If it'll spite you, then of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So yes, it's a group of librarians turned up and were like, "We wish to speak," and the Emperor was like, "Yeah, go for it." Essentially, all of the more powerful librarians grouped up and turned up.
Right.
And what they had to say for themselves was like psykers and sorceries slightly different. Honestly, I'm not entirely sure how. I think sorcery is something that is bargained for. You know, you can be gifted the ability to wield sorcery.
Right.
Whereas psykers are more innate.
They just are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when you get and use sorcery, you're not really sure like what you bargained for it, and yeah. The librarians proposed that psykers would be controlled and educated and essentially used to help humanity.
Hmm.
And then they outlaw sorcery
Right. Okay. Yeah.
and basically on trial of death. Now the problem is Magnus and the Thousand Sons were fucking around with sorcery.
Oh, of course they.
And the Council of Nicaea kind of turned into a trial for Magnus and the Thousand Sons. Like probably Leland Ross was like, "Yo, sorcery is illegal. Sweet, he's a sorcerer."
Ha!
It's like, dude.
You just made it illegal. I haven't done it in the last 5 minutes, maybe,
Yeah.
probably, that you know of. What a D-bag.
So they essentially were like, "Yo, there's all these instances of you fucking around with sorcery."
Only
And
like 14 times. Stop.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So the Emperor decided that, you know, technically speaking, he was guilty, and pretty much took away his PlayStation.
Oh.
So he said, you know, you're not allowed to use sorcery.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you know, you remember like they'd had a bit of a chat about it and everything.
Yeah.
And the Emperor said to him, "You shall not like fuck with these things, but yeah, they exist and they're super cool. They made me as powerful as I am today," kind of thing. He's like, but don't use them. So he got pissed off with Magnus because Magnus has been fucking around with sorcery and all that type of thing. And so the person and group who really took a hit on this was Magnus.
Yeah. Of course, he's just always taking hits, isn't he?
Yeah. Essentially, the Emperor was like, "Look, we need navigators, we need astropaths, we will control them, we'll train them, and they'll be fine. But the legions, the Space Marine legions, no psykers." They had to close their librarian sections down, get rid of the psykers. Any Astartes, any Space Marine who had some gifts would not be encouraged, and they wouldn't be allowed to practice.
Aww.
And the librarians and Magnus and everyone who already had power and could wield it weren't allowed to.
It just sucks, doesn't it? Because like they were more focused on that style of fighting and stuff.
Yes.
Oh.
They also created a new position, a new role in the Space Marine Legions, the chaplain.
Is this basically? Oh wait, no. Is that like Inquisition-y type?
Not really,
Or
kind of.
What are we doing? They're like judging them.
No, the chaplain was more like a moral guide.
Okay.
Essentially making sure that the Space Marines follow the Imperial truth and keep the dedication and loyalty to the Emperor in, that type of thing.
Needed that, didn't they?
Yeah. The Emperor was then like, Magnus, stop it. Just no more PlayStation. And Magnus was like, I do not agree, but okay.
But what about little bit of PlayStation if you don't know about it?
Yeah, I mean, it's absentee father, like he's never around.
Yeah.
He's not keeping an eye on his kid, etc.
I'm gonna play and I'll see if he finds out, and then if he does, it means he loves me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Magnus.
Unfortunately, and this is jumping ahead a bit for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, psykers are really useful against chaos,
Yep.
being of the warp and all that type of thing. And there are a lot of psykers within chaos, especially Zinch.
Yeah.
So when this Horus Heresy happened, they're like, maybe librarians and stuff, actually. So librarians came back and
Hypocrisy. Says
I mean, it's all very well to be like, oh, it's easy to be corrupted if you're a psyker. And then, the fucking Horus Heresy happens and half of all Space Marines basically went traitor. And you're like, maybe that's not super important. Maybe we should just focus on people not being traitorous and idiots and also Lorgar.
Lorgar. Hoo ha ha.
Well, although, to be fair, Lorgar fits into idiot too.
Oh, oopsie daisy. You know what? It's fine.